Well, gather round now, if you've got a moment to spare for an old man's tale. This here's a story from my own heart, one I've carried like a well-worn pocket watch, ticking away the years. It ain't about grand adventures or far-off lands, but about the quiet battles fought in the corners of a family home, the kind where love gets tested and wisdom finally speaks up. I call it the way I lived it, through the eyes of my dear friend May, though in my telling, she's got a bit of my own stubborn grit mixed in, and the folks around her feel like kin from my younger days. Back when I was spry, with calluses on my hands from building porches and planting gardens, I knew folks like her husband George. A man steady as an oak, punctual as the sunrise, who folded his trousers neat every night and peeled apples with the care of a jeweler. George passed on a chilly autumn day, and that's where our yarn truly begins. I remember that funeral like it was yesterday, though the winds whipped many a season since. Only May showed up to bid George farewell. Not their boy Peter, not their girl Celia, not a single grandchild to warm the pews. Just May, standing tall by the coffin in that drafty chapel courtyard, the cold gusts howling like they mourned louder than any soul inside. The funeral man, a fidgety sort with a tie too tight, kept glancing at the empty chairs, clearing his throat like a stuck hinge. "Mrs. Holloway," he says, "shall we hold off a spell? Give folks time to arrive?" May, with that quiet fire in her eyes, the same fire that kept her pruning roses through storms, shook her head firm. No need, she told him. George hated waiting. He'd take his medicine on the dot, catch the news at 6 sharp, line his boots up proper before bed. Start the service. He's earned his peace. She took her seat in the front row, 5 chairs yawning empty around her like forgotten promises. The preacher mumbled verses without heart, the blooms too gaudy, the box too shiny. May sat there, mind wandering to how George would have chuckled at the spectacle, then scowled around the room, muttering under his breath about where in blazes the family had vanished to. And where were they, you ask? A note pinged on May's phone that morning from Peter: "Sorry, Ma. Tied up. Can't come. No details, no ring." I picture him in his fancy office, or more likely swinging clubs on some green with bigwigs, acting like his pa's passing was just a blip in his packed schedule. Celia? Not a peep, save a voicemail 2 days prior, light as a feather: "Ma, can't shift my salon slot, you know how frazzled I get. Give Pa my best, I'll swing by soon." Soon. As if the departed linger for appointments. After the words were said, May trailed the bearers alone to the grave. No tears from her eyes, not from lack of sorrow, she'd been weeping inside for months as George's strength faded. No, this grief was a heavy stone, anchoring her still and deep. The burial ground was near deserted, just an old keeper leaning on his shovel in the distance. The casket sank slow, prayers faded soft, earth patted down with finality. May lingered after the few folks scattered, her shoes sinking a touch into the soil, coat flapping in the breeze. The marker would come later, for now, a plain sign: George Holloway, loving husband, dad, overlooked. That word, overlooked, lodged in May's thoughts like a burr under a saddle. Home again, the hush thundered. George's easy chair untouched, boots paired perfect, TV clicker right where he'd set it. May gazed long, then headed to the kitchen, uncorked a fine vintage from the special shelf, meant for company that rarely came, and filled a glass. She fired up her phone, not her habit, but a nudge told her to peek. Celia's page open to all, a snap from hours ago, her with pals, glasses raised, beaming. Ladies' feast. Endless bubbly. Best life ever. Peter's too, him at the links, club gleaming. Ace drive. Fine day. Wind sealed. May stared till her vision swam, shut the device, sipped deep, and eyed the wall portrait, her and George on their 40th, by the roses he'd sown himself. Those blooms once fiery red, now stripped bare. Come morning, May figured, she'd ring the attorney. Quiet shifts, with George's same honor. If she alone honored his end, she'd alone steer his wishes, and theirs. That night in the kitchen, where George once carved apples into perfect moons, offering her the sunniest slice, the fruit bowl sagged with neglected pears. Silence wasn't new. George had been absent near 2 weeks pre-burial, schooling May in solitude's form. But this eve it clamped tighter, crueler. Empty seats haunted her, Celia's void of a message, Peter's curt brush-off. Had she raised a daughter who could sip mimosas while her father descended into earth? Peter's note, no warmth, just dismissal. Another pour of wine, for sharpness now. Down the hall to their room, May opened George's desk drawer, everything tidy as ever. Envelopes, keys, ancient stamps. Behind, the hidden folder, estate. Copies of wills, heirs listed, directives for home, auto, funds, even the heirloom clock from Dublin. Drafted lovingly 2 years back. Peter co-heir to the big fund, nigh $300,000 from lifelong toil and thrift. Both kids in for house, lake retreat, they shunned visits but queried taxes. May's hands shook, not age, but betrayal's throb. She fetched old photos from the closet, reunions, cakes, hugs. George cradling tiny ones, her laughing on the stoop. Once a unit. Love doesn't crash, it fades soft as sun-bleached cloth. A fishing shot, George arm around 12-year-old Peter, pointing to ripples, smile wide and tender. That man merited more than a vacant right. May dialed the lawyer near midnight, Thomas Fields, voicemail. Thomas, May Holloway. Urgent will tweak. Morning call. She hung, gazed at moonlit roses outside, withered in sympathy. Prune tomorrow, she thought. Tonight, let faded petals drop. Tomorrow, snip what no longer fit. And folks, as the moon climbed higher that night, May wondered if those roses held secrets of their own, whispering about roots that run deeper than any storm. The next chapter in this old yarn picks up where the night left off, with May staring out at those weary roses, feeling the pull of decisions that can't wait for dawn. I've always said, wisdom comes not from loud thunder, but from the steady drip of rain that carves canyons in stone. May had that wisdom brewing, honed from years of giving without tally, much like I did raising my own brood back when the farm demanded more than it gave. The lawyer's den smelled of aged pages and wax, a spot where moments hung heavy. Thomas knew them 3 decades, mortgages, licenses, deeds, estates. Trusty as a faithful hound, a tad weary of grin-and-grab types. He rose as May entered, surprise softening his face. May, bright and early. Couldn't linger, she replied, settling in the worn leather. Her coat carried garden scent, she'd snipped dead blooms pre-dawn, pruning steadying her like it did me with my orchard. Your message, will revision. I. Cut Peter and Celia clean out. Thomas paused thoughtful, not stunned. Certain. May met his gaze steady. I laid George to rest solo. No young uns came. No bloom, no word. Busy, they claimed. Hands calm on the desk, they get naught. Thomas nodded slow. Full erase from all. Every bit, funds, abode, retreat, all. Got it. Pad out, neat script. Redirect elsewhere. May thought of grandson Ethan, Celia's lad, the soul who visited unprompted. Mowed her grass in heat without nudge, toted books from the library, sought her tales over peers. Grandma, your chats beat kids my age. Deep breath, trust for Ethan. Home, retreat, rest. Shield from his folks. Thomas, irrevocable trust, his name. Access at 30, save school or health. Ideal. Hour of papers, clauses, May unflinching. Burying a spouse alone hardens you to ink and seals. Ending, Thomas, few your years act so decisive. Most cling to harmony. I clung 80 years, May soft. It entombed me afore George. No more queries. Out into October sun, May paused, air crisp on cheeks. No sorrow, no rage, just finished. Done chasing phantoms of who her children might have been. Done bartering soul for echoes. Steps light to the auto, seat warm. Folks hurried by, a mother-daughter pair hand in hand, giggling. May noted, no longing, like an old tune faded from the radio. That night, no screen glow, no pages, no George's sweater proxy. Hush remained, but painless now. The hall cabinet, drawers labeled in George's firm hand, home, levies, kin. Kin drawer hers. Metal side open, files galore, receipts, transfers, cards amid loans. Kept for truth, paper endures. Kitchen table, Peter's learning and venture, aside, Celia's nest and joys open. Her script, once crisp. $15,000 check, 2003, Celia's nuptials. Intimate, Ma. Nice spot. Chandeliered hall, lobster, quartet. $7,800, 2007, roof woe, crib drenched. Paid swift. $12,000, 2011, Ethan's braces. $5,000, 2013, robotics camp. $20,000 more when Hub lost work. You rescue us, Celia breathed. May trusted. Peter's stack heftier, $25,000 startup flop, George cautioned, ignored. Auto deposit, grad terms, birth bills, broken arm coverage, tax bailouts unseen. When had she become their lifeline? They never spurned aid, but spurned George's farewell, unfixable by ledger. Files returned save Ethan's envelope. Note at 11, sloppy scrawl. Grandma May, pancake lessons thanks. Wise and fun. I'll care for you someday. He was 19 now. Fairness not equality, to the seer of her soul, not wallet. House shrank that day, memories decluttered. Trinkets from kids boxed, not discarded, space for growth. Evening tea, proper brew George favored, bergamot wafting. Peace dawned soft. Afternoon ring, tentative voice. Grandma. Ethan. Ledger closed, cabin utilities. Hey, love. You well? Pause. Heard 'bout Grandpa. Sorry late. May waited for truth. Mom hid it. Said ill, not gone. Still. 3 weeks back. Sorry, whisper, grief raw. Visit? Always. Hour later, taller, scruffy, laundry fresh with worry. Hug awkward then full. Living room, lemonade. House familiar yet altered by loss. Missed rights, unforgivable. You weren't chooser. He eyed coaster. Mom said work. Should have known. Here now, that's act. Envelope out, trust drafts. Handed over. Brows knit, alarm. Grandma. My path. All to me. Voice break. Why not them? You returned unbidden. Papers down gentle. Speechless. No need. Recall true love. Eyes damp, sleeve white boy-like. Silent communion, George May style. Door, pancakes soon. Good syrup. Smile bloomed. But wait till you hear how Celia stormed in next, unannounced and full of fire. What words flew then might surprise even this old storyteller. Now, the tale twists a mite here, like a river bending round an old stump, revealing depths you didn't reckon on. I've spun many a yarn by the fire, but this part hits close, reminds me of times I had to stand firm against my own kin, when giving turn to taking and wisdom demanded a line in the dirt. Celia arrived unheralded next morn, her sleek rig grinding gravel hasty, like tardy for grander affairs. No rap, just in, she presumed ownership still. Ma, bag thump on table. Radio silence. May folded linens deliberate, sock pairs sacred. Occupied. Celia scoffed, self-poured water, counter-lean proprietary. True. Ethan spill, you're axing us. Shirt folded, basket. From Will, I. Laugh sharp. Real. After our sacrifices. May up, hands steady. No funeral. No pedal. No word. Nails, then feast, I viewed snaps. Blink, no rebut. What we've given. Lists, tabs, tuitions, loans, I settled silent. Family aids. Mother's due, I did decades. Silence. Pa crafted this nest barehanded. Pride his. Respect in deeds. You spared him scant hours. Unjust. Not abrupt. 20 years outflow, no inflow. Solo burial. Waited at grave, none. Lifetime. Arms cross, strained. Punishment. Liberation. Ethan gets all. Laugh shrill. Kid. Duty. He appears. Thick quiet. Bag grab. Hope power suits. Peace does. Gone wordless. Car fade, trust sheets by laundry. Eve doorstep note, no post, you missed the juggle. We strove. Failed maybe, but exclusion wrong. Read twice, filed, odds, mere scrap, overdue. Peter next day, Knox measured. Door slow, he with Meredith, smile rigid, scarf lavish. Ma, entry. Aside. Sitting room, coats on. Celia, Ethan spoke. Figured. Throat clear. Mix up. Not. Meredith legs cross, gems flash. Tough spell. Feelings peak. You skipped too. Deal dinner. Crucial. Peter, regret no contact. Didn't know. Thought dodge, it'd vanish. Glance off. Solo in pause build as he sank. Mouth open, Meredith knee pat. Hear her. Upset valid. Will yours. But sensible, Ethan youth, green. Manipulable. Brow up. By. No flinch. Peter, disappointing, I. Extreme though. Extreme, forsake razors. Swallow. Cut off. You severed, I affirm. Meredith rise. Complex legal. Clean docs. Attorney solid. Thought deep. Peter aged, hollow. Thought pardon. Pardon sans entry. No fight. Polite exit. Door shut, hands quiver, liberation. Window vigil, dusk drain. Roses near nude, winter nigh. George, bloom anew. Wood, but selective. Bank, citrus polish, hushed might. Known, Mrs. Holloway, Mr. Jansen soon. Nod, windows on bustle. Jansen crisp. May. Warm grip. Shocked your note. Shock wholesome. Office, glass, wood, pup pick, George approve. Shifts. Executed. Seal swift. Notes scan, brows rise. Transfers void, airs out, Ethan trust irrevocable. Big turn. Big lady. Lean, fortress safeguards. No twists later. Trust bars. Disperse controlled, learn, abode, cure to 30. Post full, guarded. Co-guard. Ethan picks advisor, his call. Trust him over suits. Glasses tweak. Hard reverse. No desire. Signatures, seals. Boundary forged, unyielding to remorse. Pre-exit, anger drive. Lucidity. Nod. Scarce. Belated. Out to sunnier light. Cross Street Cafe, old haunt with George. Altered, youth, noise, but in, cappuccino. Window seat, stroller mom weary yet resolute. Sip slow, no device, our hers. Stage quiet. Peace roared softer. Lorraine, neighbor since 72, tin shortbread, knock 5. Peter's auto yesterday. Excuses sans blooms. In, tea, hers chamomile, mine bold. Tin mid-table. Waited. Told cut off, Ethan sole returner. Exhale. Overdue. Sorry, but you pursued nods years, sits, funds mid-voyages, grins on missed births. Snap expected. Peeled false love. Smile. Apartment. Quiet, fridge hum, gusts. Autumn ripe. Remorse. Head shake. Sooner. Tin open, treats divine. Nibble. Niece push sell, excess, villas, done all. Prefer perish amid my mugs, own hush than bleach boredom. Chuckle true. We endures toll. Spines ground for ungratefuls. Nod. Not harsh, they'll claim. But you buoyed storm sands drown query. Blink, dry. Hour, plots, hood, squirrels. Hug linger. Night, George's trip missive, house full with you, roof, boards, latch. I see. Thrice read, back. Hush occupied. But hold on, young uns, the real spark came with a simple stroll that cracked open doors long iced shut. The story ambles on now, like a faithful old dog finding new paths in familiar woods, uncovering joys in the simple tread. I've walked many a mile in my boots, pondering how life prunes us back to let fresh shoots emerge, much as I did after losing my Ellen, learning to savor solitary sunsets without chasing shadows. May's walk that morn was unbidden, no errand tether. George's oversized jacket, cuffs frayed, comforted. Neighborhood unchanged, Mapleton blues, Wilson swing creak, George vowed fix, never did. Park bench under elm, storm split 99, leaning defiant. Stroller moms prattled routines, May apart, content. Woman 40s, list weary, sat far. Quiet stretch. Frequent. Once, pre-chores. Soft laugh. Sounds grand. Head clear. Daughter nixed kids, pointless. Said same, bout her inks, bit tongue. Grin. Didn't. Quarter-hour truths veiled light. Wave farewell, chest crack, thaw. Eve dinner solo, full spread, fine china, flame. Radio murmur, George station. 8 attuned. Den, George's realm, dust, air. Sat desk, self-note, visible. Unburden. Peace unearned via weary. Tucked by crossword half, clue, chapter close, new dawn. Lived it. Envelope Ethan's script, dented. Post 3 days post-visit, amid ads. Kettle, stare, prolong. Tea ready, open. Grandma, pen over text. Words elusive, honest suffice. Thanks, not assets, though vast, but space as me. Parents polished push, you real. Hid grandpa's ill, pass. Anger at mom. Promise honor. Care house, learn build, strength in presence. Love. Thrice, dry, hand heart, tears trace. Mantle sacred. Needed not funds, this. Investment bloomed. Eve George's chair, shadows dance. Ethan George respect, steady, inquisitive, here. Presence key. Plant, recall. House breathe. Rhythm shift, no Celia pickup please yoga overrun, Peter repair begs. Gentle void. Table 1, roast true, Rosemary George plot. Candle want. Mid-meal, Clock tick, first flat loud, broke, plan us. Build slow. Was. Dishes unhurried. Then dance, record scratch charm. Barefoot, arms lift, stiff but 20 heart. Pause hearth ash last winter. Clean ritual. Kindling note George, dance kitchen. World shrink, resist. Dust hands, tears hold. New. Bed window crack, leaf decay clean under. Quilt 84 virtue weary. Tired earned, reclaim. Name hers. Meredith solo, pie shop. Brow. Nervous grin. Apple. Aside curiosity. Kitchen awkward, no tea. Silence work. No beg. Wise. Heard trust. Nod. Thank, not Peter. Genuine. He never stand alone. You enabled, me too. Now him. Not. You held amid gripes. Why now? Weary. Still. Pie fridge. Weak attorney, filed, active. Ethan everywhere former them. Garden bench, paper touch. Real, settled. Permission anew small. Sewing machine out, oiled. Curtains blue clumsy, mine. Morn pancake scratch, 2 settings. Ethan 9, groceries unasked. Fresh. Learn flip. Listen true. Good. House potential, space lost, garden teach. Hope soft. Grandpa approve. Porch start. Tools real. Laugh. Dishes, curtain sway, wind sweet. Yard bare upright. Weight gone, next shape. But as snow whispered its first secrets, a laugh echoed loud and free, what mending began then, you'll scarce believe. Snow's gentle veil descends on our tale now, dusting the past with a clean slate, much as it did my old fields after harvests, promising renewal under the white. I've seen many winters, learned peace often hides in the cold quiet, waiting for those who choose it over clamor. Light flakes, no hold, season shift signal. Porch, cardigan, coffee, Ethan front measure steps, mutter George-like. Month post sign. No fanfare, shift inner. Wait decades shed, space. No calls, Celia text, proud. Ignore. Peter void unfilled. No pursuit. Truth stand soft. Ethan knock back. Railing view. Mug down, front. Sand stain seal care. Lean left. Grin. Family trait. Laugh open long absent. Rag hands. Spring garden front, veg, herbs, grow. Saw boy to man chooser. Right. In, soup, he cabinet fix. Breaker, attic query. Day small vitals missed gone. Night self-letter old May, tried excess. Bent unfit. Soft tall. Gave no. Loved fierce, no error. Free dance, plant joy, no guilt, yes fearless, give deserve. Clear enough. Drawer photos, not hide, lighthouse self. Stars sharp, cold bite. Sky whisper, proud peace choice. Mine. But the pie from Meredith wasn't the end, wait till you hear how Ethan turned that old cabin into something alive with purpose. The yarn warms here, like embers coaxed back to flame, showing how legacy ain't in gold but in hands that tend it true. Reminds me of passing my tools to grandkids who listened, not grabbed. Weeks on, Ethan frequent, sleeves rolled. Cabin, once tax query, now his. Dusted, windows clear, lake view breathe. Grandma, workshop. Teach fix, grow. Eyes sparkle. Folks need skills, space. Nod. George dream, share. Weekend, paint, shelves. I story nails, varnish, he absorb. Pa teach you. I, patient. Mistakes lessons. Laugh mishap tale. Garden plan, soil test, seed catalog. Tomatoes heirloom, herbs heal. Rosemary perennial. Planted memory pots kitchen sill, basil, mint. Smell home. Eve fire, first since George. Logs Ethan split. Crackle, stories. Grandpa fish. Yarns endless. Photo album, young us, kids small. Ethan trace. Build family. Chose show. Silent warm. Celia postcard, selfish. Trash. Peter email reconcile terms, no. Peace guard. Spring teas, cabin open house. Neighbors, strays skills. Ethan teach saw, I bread. Laughter fill. Legacy, whisper. Ethan beam. But one letter from afar stirred old waters, what words from a forgotten voice changed the garden's song. Final threads weave tight now, like a quilt pieced from life's scraps, warm and whole. I've told this to grandkids round the hearth, reminding roots matter most when watered right. Summer bloom, cabin hub. Ethan classes, carpentry, canning, tales. Kids wide, elders nod. I cookie bake, wisdom slip. Letter yellowed, attic box, George to me pre-kids, May, build love lasts. Give see heart. Read Ethan fireside. He knew. I. Fall harvest feast cabin. Tables long, faces many. Ethan toast, grandma clearance, grandpa foundation. Grow. Cheers. I tear quiet. Winter deep, Ethan wed sweet girl library met. Vows porch fixed. I front, proud. Years glide. House alive laughs, lessons. Roses red fierce. I porch rocker, Ethan family tend. Told you'd care. Smile. Learned best. Peace not end, begin. Choose self, 10 deservers. Legacy present. And there, under those stars, in my heart's telling, found the truest bloom, a family chosen, not chased. What hidden note in your own attic might spark your next chapter?